to bring onto that
All right,
relationship.
bro.
But if you're dealing with them, that's a different story. If you're sitting in them and you're dealing with them, but it is not taking you years, and because years mean you're not dealing with them, you're hiding them under the carpet. They are still there and they're seeping out as into a fungus. It is seeping out and it's becoming more cancerous. But if you have a sore, you put medicine on it, you put a band-aid on it, a week later, you're good. That's a physical sore. Now, mental sores, those are different. It does still take some time to heal. I'm not saying, hey, you done met a lady and or a man and you fresh out of a relationship, jump right on in just because you think he the one. No, because your thought process is off. Your mental capacity is off. That is self-sabotaging because all you're doing is compiling the hurt, because everything that you need to deal with and unpack, you're gonna bring into that next relationship and put it on that person.
You know what? I agree
Okay,
with you
okay. So
because
I understand that. I understand. So I totally understand it, and I agree because it's not fair to put on the other person what you just been through, right? Because they didn't do it.
Right.
I get that,
Right.
right? But okay, not but. However, maybe so we try to fix ourselves when we might not be qualified to fix ourselves. Meaning, what I say about that is, we might not have the tools necessary to pull ourselves up totally. And the person that God may put in your life, or life will just bring to you, even if you don't want to look at it religiously, that life just brings your way. He or she is just qualified because of what they've been through to help you get over those wounds, help you get over that misunderstanding of why this person did me this way, or why do I always get these type of people. Maybe they've been through some of that same hurt, and they're qualified to help you through it. So in the Bible says we misinterpret the word when it says, we need a help mate. Really, it's a help meet. Help meet me halfway. Help meet me here, and help me get through this, or help me get past this point. Help mate really is what we just need. Help mating and breeding. No, help meet me where I am, right? So we can get to the next spot.
But the thing is, though, Ty, I mean, because my thing is, if it's that one person that you are meant to be with, I believe in soulmates. If it is that one person, there is no way that that person won't come back to you. So while you're waiting, while you're healing, I mean, that right person is gonna say, yeah, but I'm gonna allow you this time, but believe I'm coming back because you're what I want.
Now, do I believe that people come into people's lives and help them through things? Absolutely, yes. But I do think that whenever you have been through a few things, that you should take some time for yourself.
Yes,
Because
yes.
absolutely.
a lot of
Yeah,
us
Otherwise,
is
definitely.
too codependent on another person and all that other mess.
so
but
so
but
so.
wait. Can I ask Ty a question? Because he said this. Ty
Go
started
ahead.
this. So Ty, so let's talk about the independent woman, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I would
Independent woman.
think
Okay.
that men, I don't know if it's such thing as it too independent, but I would think that men would want an independent woman in their life so that if something goes wrong, he knows she can handle it. That makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. So there is, uh we misconstrue the word sometimes, independent with codependent.
Break it
Right.
You know
down.
what I mean? And what that means. Okay, so we are codependent on each other, meaning that if I'm not there, I can codepend on you to do what's need to be done. I can codepend on you to get the kids to school, right? I can
Hope.
I can codepend on you to be able to pay the mortgages if necessary. We misconstrue the word with independent with codependent, right? Because when we
Right.
codependent of one another, that means we are a team. We are a team.
Okay.
When we have an independent woman or independent man, That means we are operating in two separate vessels. Meaning, I don't care how much we say we are together, we're still operating on single tracks because we're
Right.
not codependent
Huh.
of each other.
But do
What
you,
day?
do you realize that that's a track that some women, that's the only road they know. They have
Right.
done it all, everything, and they've made it through everything. Nobody stepped up. Years have gone by. The kids are grown, blah, blah, blah. Nobody still stepped up. So they're just living life the way that it is. And they okay with it.
That's because they don't know that there's anything missing
And
because they've
that's
never
the problem.
had what they are missing until they come to the end of their life term, and then they're really reflecting. Oh, my kids are grown
I
and
think
gone.
they know what's missing, or they have a desire to
But
even
no,
know what's
because
missing,
the
but
thing
it just
is,
never finds them.
but the
What
thing
you're saying is
is,
you can't
it's
you can't want
always
something you
there.
never had.
What women do is busy themselves so they don't have to deal with themselves.
They've
When you
already
say,
dealt
"Oh, you
with
got
some
Mm,
the
things.
kids,"
What that's true. That is
you
true.
got the kids, you'll put everybody in front of everything, so you don't have to sit in your mess and deal with it,
But that's
and
what
deal with the fact that you do need a mate. You do want love, comfort, and security.
they don't
I see
need it.
it. I
They
no,
didn't
no,
don't
say
no.
need
need.
it.
I
You do
They
said
don't
need
need
it.
want.
it. They don't need
I
it.
said want. I want because no, you don't. The only thing you need is oxygen, food, and water to live. But if you want to if you want to be a complete individual where you're feeling everything that you need to feel, it is always someone. That's why we invest ourselves in our kids, throw ourselves in our businesses, because it makes us feel something. When you stop feeling something, when you let go of,
Right.
I want to be the
And
independent woman, make my own money, live in my own house, and I'm raising my kids by myself. When you let go of that, you allow yourself to feel what it is you're supposed to feel. And at the end of that is loneliness. If you are feeling lonely, but you got all the money in the world, your
right.
kids you raised from a conception of the incubator, and you never had a man in your life. You're
The
I
still
incubator.
I'm gonna disagree with you a little bit on this one because look, a family and a man and all that is nice and lovely, but if you do not have it, and most of us won't, it is not the end of the world, and you can still be have a happy, fulfilled life. If it
ask the people
never
in the
finds
nursing home
you,
and
and
ask them
for
if
a
they
lot of
agree.
women,
But
it is never going to find
but
them.
Ask
but
those single
fulfill. See,
women in the
okay.
nursing home and ask them if they agree with that
Let me let
concept.
me
Look,
You
let me
have
say
been
this.
the
Let
what
me
are we
say this.
telling
That
every single woman out here who don't have no man? That she should be a
wait,
miserable
wait, wait, hold up.
no, no, no,
Let's
no.
talk
You
because
shouldn't. It's
it
not that you
ain't
should.
about a man. It's about a mate. Like he said,
or
I
a mate. Okay, if you don't have a mate,
a
So
mate.
my bad,
this is
ladies
what happens when
and
this is
gentlemen.
what happens when life throws you circumstances and you begin to accept the circumstances that you were given. So now what you do is you look at a glass half empty as opposed to looking at it half full. So when we look at a glass half full versus half empty, it changes our perception of the glass.
Mm-hmm.
It changes our perception of the glass. So when you're looking at like the stance, the position that you're taking, right? You're now looking at that glass as half full. That glass is half full. When really, no, it's half empty. You don't have to accept what you just got. What you got is not all that there is.
Right.
You have so much more that can be poured into you and understand that. And you don't
Well,
have to
I
accept that.
agree with that, but what I'm saying is that if you don't have a mate, that doesn't necessarily mean that you should have a miserable experience.
Okay, let me go ahead and backtrack something because I think that what y'all hear me say is a mate as far as a man and marriage, and no, a helpmate. I know that Ty is saying man, or, because he's a man. I know that there are men out there whose husbands have passed on, so they lost their life partner. but they refused to remarry because that was their person. At the end of their lifespan, I'm gonna put it to, okay, they may died in their 20s, but they don't want to remarry. That's great, feel complete and assured. But the thing is, we are companioned people. Otherwise, there wouldn't be a man and a woman. Why is there a man and a woman if you're not supposed to be one? If there's not supposed to be a mate,
Right,
maybe it's a
right.
woman. Maybe it is another woman.
He made
Because
God made a
it
woman for a
happened.
man.
Right. I'm saying your helpmate may be someone that you're able to share your experiences with, your compassion with, your life challenges with. Someone that you can be completely yourself and they see you 100%.
You
That's
you
what
know
I'm
why
saying.
some of those older couples don't remarry, those other spouses don't remarry, because they have experienced true fulfillment. They have experienced it already. So
Right.
they know what that feels like.
Right.
They know what it felt like before, they know what it felt like during, and they know what it felt like after.
Right.
So what happens is if you never had it, you okay, I don't really need it because I never had it.
Right.
I can be happy. I can be happy with what I have. I can be happy. I can make do. I can be
You can
happy.
settle.
I can be okay. And that's ultimately what you're saying is I'm settling. I'm settling.
Right.
There's nothing like, and you can tell me when you were in love, whatever relationship you was, whether it worked out or not, when you were in love, that was the best you felt in your life.
Oh yeah, it feels good.
Yeah, it
That was
do.
the best you felt in your life. You and you can't and anybody will be allowed to say otherwise. When you were in love, I'm not
Exactly.
talking about when you love the person. When you were in love, that was the best you ever felt in your life, and could nobody bring you down from that high. That's better than any
Right.
crackhead high, any drunk, any weed, anything you can imagine. That high is unreal,
Right.
That's true.
and that's what I'm
That's that.
saying. That that's a agape type of love. That's a love
Yes.
that everyone needs to experience. And when I say need, you should have it. You should have it.
Yep.
A lot of women, okay, a lot of people have thought they had it, but they didn't, and now they don't want to hurt no more.
Yeah, that shit hurts.
The thing
I
though,
don't feel it either.
this is growing up hurts, living hurts, heck, working hurts. You can't protect yourself from 100% of everything. You can't protect yourself from hurt. And once you realize that the things that don't kill you will only make you stronger in whatever it is, you will be a better off person. To understand that anything that you go through, you need to grow through it. Grow better,
True.
grow to a bigger,
Mm.
better person, and don't close yourself off to opportunities because all you're doing is hurting yourself. You're giving that person or that situation more power than it deserves if you close yourself off, if you build your walls. Because guess what? All that love and all that good feeling you had at the beginning, the dopamines that were firing and the your hormones that was making you get all the goodness and you were glowing, you will never ever experience that again because you're trying to protect yourself from the pain that you got. You see what I'm saying? You're trying to protect yourself from the pleasure, then the pain, and the pleasure. It's a cycle. Unfortunately, it is a cycle.
I would
Love
love
and
to
pain
hear.
exist in the same.
I would love to hear from more single women to find out exactly why they are single.
Now let me be clear. I was single. I was
Yeah.
single.
What'd you say?
We don't count you, love. You can't be counted. No, no,
Hey, I listen. I
no.
understand. I went so when you experience that kind of love and that kind of apex of emotions, right? I understand why some single women stay single because when you experience that and you have that kind of letdown, you truly are afraid to go back to that. and experience that letdown again. You are afraid to go through that. You are hesitant. And I totally respect that and I understand it. But that does not mean that you should rob yourself of trying to get back there.
Right.
And hopefully you can learn from some of the choices that you made before that may have made some error steps, and who you have chosen to experience that with. Hopefully life has given you some more tools to make the proper decisions and equations, and realize that, okay, this is the person that I need to go here. But ultimately, no matter what, no matter who you decide to take that step with again, it's ultimately a leap of faith,
Right.
because you ultimately, you really don't know. You don't know. You don't. But you have to have faith in yourself. You have to have faith in the things that you use to help you make that determining factor, saying, you know what, okay, I'm gonna let myself go for this person, because I'm willing to bet on this person. I'm willing to bet on myself that I made the right decision. And a lot of times we become hesitant and we become gun shy. We don't trust ourselves. It's not the other person. It's not the other man or the other woman. We just don't
Yeah.
trust ourselves that we are
I agree with
qualified
that too.
to make that decision and say, you know what, I'm gonna let myself go.
But at the end of the day, you're not trusting yourself. Who are you going to trust?
Well, maybe that's why some women fall back too, because I know I've had to
They
take
trust on that stuff right
responsibility.
behind you. Right
I'm
behind you.
hmm
You hear me?
what'd you say?
They trust in that stuff right behind you, love passion.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh, child hush. Child. No, but I've had to take accountability for the decisions, that I've made. So I know I'm part of the issue too. And and I love someone and he loves me. So I mean, it's not like I'm not sitting over here just bitter. I'm just saying I've been single, I've been hurt. Um I'm even I still believe I've spent so much of my life chasing love, making mistakes with sex. I'm just at a point in my life where I'm not chasing anything.
right.
Mm-hmm.
And you
You know what I'm
shouldn't be
saying?
chasing love. The
Right.
thing is, love is something that comes to you. It is not something that you chase
But a
after.
lot of
Ooh,
people
have it
chase
over
it,
here.
chase it, and chase it, and that's what makes life so miserable.
Right.
I'm
Stop
at a point in my
chasing
life where
love.
I'm not chasing anything. If no matter if it's relationships, friendships, family, I'm not chasing anything.
And that's a great space to be in because you should never chase love. Stop
Mhm.
running after something that will come to you in time. When
Mm.
it is ready for you and you are prepared for it, it comes. Start loving yourself first and chase yourself.
Yeah,
Chase the love for yourself and it will come to you because that's
yeah,
what you're putting out there in the earth,
Yeah,
into the
laws of attraction are real. I'm
Okay.
just
yeah.
telling
You
Okay.
you.
know,
Okay. But say you guys, you're saying love yourself, but some people don't know what self love looks like.
exactly. You know why they
That's the
don't know why
problem.
self love look like? They too busy running around trying to love everybody else.
exactly,
The things and the
So,
effort and the energy you putting in everybody else, put it in yourself.
so
exactly.
break down self love. Break it
Self love.
down.
Self love. You have an obstacle. Somebody wants you to do this, but you really want to do this, but your heart is saying, well, they'll love me more if I go do what they want me to do, even though I don't want to do it. I am tired. I'm drained. You say no. You learn how to say no to others, say yes to yourself to take care of your mental ability to care for yourself. It is getting your hair done instead of your child's hair done. It is not feeling guilty for taking care of yourself. It is not harboring the blame when you take that money you saved and buy you some new shoes, even though you see your kids' shoes is about to get smaller. It is those small things. taking time for yourself
Yeah, it's
to
a
collect
bubble bath.
yourself.
It's kind words. It's affirmations. It's, you're a bad bitch.
Do
Love
some
you.
yoga. It's
Yeah.
exercise. It's shopping. It's what you want to do beyond anyone else. If no one else was there, that's the thing that you would be doing. That's your self love. You can give of yourself some, but not all the time. Do a 60-40. I'm gonna give 40 cents to them and 60 to me.
Because women and mothers, we give the majority of ourselves, and it's just about taking, like for me, it's my nails. That's for me. It's what I love. It's what I like.
But so
Have you
so
ever
so
come
to
to a
me,
point where you're like, I can't get my nails done this week because somebody needs something? Has that ever been? And then you chose you first?
so to me, all right. So I hear
Wait,
that.
wait, wait. Let her answer because she ain't answered yet. Hold on.
Um, no, I mean, I raised my daughter majority by myself. So if it was between she and I, most of the time, um, well, no, I was gonna pick her. She was gonna come before me. I mean, let's just honest and true.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, and that's because okay, for me, all right, for a while, I'm a single father, right? So for me, self love was was something that no money could buy. Like
Mm,
self love wasn't so it wasn't my haircut or his haircut. It wasn't her shoes or my shoes. Like for me, self love was me being able to look in the mirror and said, you know what, dude, I'm proud of you. I'm
mm,
proud of you. That's
yeah,
what
Gotta
self
celebrate
love
the
became
steps.
to
that's
me.
big.
I am out of out of all of the reasons you had not to be here or not to be doing this, you're here.
Right.
I looked in the mirror and I looked at myself and said, I'm proud of you.
Mhm.
That was self love for me.
Mhm.
So to me, self love is whatever you're doing, whether for yourself or for someone else, whatever sacrifices you're making for yourself or for someone else. If you could look in the mirror and say, "Self, I am proud of you," that's self love. Because in my mind, that's what self love is. Because
It is a part of self
you
love.
Right.
right, because
Affirmation.
no one can tell you. I could no one can pat you on the back like you can pat yourself on the back.
Right.
No one
Right.
knows if you're really giving it all up or not.
The only person that's going to be there for you 100% of the time is you. That's it. It's the
Yes.
only person that don't miss nothing. You better take care of yourself.
You're
So,
right.
I've learned, and again, maybe this is just my weird way of looking at it. I can be dead broke, no money in my pocket, shoes busted, but my kids good. If I can look in the mirror and say, I'm proud of you, man, I can sit raggedy, bummed out, broke, don't matter. I'm great. I'm fine. I'm happy. I'm happy. And that's where the self-love for me comes in, because we have to find that place that no matter what the outside circumstances are, you're
Mm-hmm.
happy. You're
Well, that's
happy.
what I was saying about gratitude last week, regardless of
Mm-hmm.
the circumstances. You know, no matter what's going on, you can always look around and find a reason to be grateful. You know,
Yes.
we have
Yes.
more. You said earlier you don't think people can heal themselves, but I just think that we can. I think that just like we posed the question to peanut butter, and you said it, and I knew what you said was correct. She knew already. She knew already. She just maybe wanted confirmation, but she already knew what she needed to do. And a lot of us know what we need to do. We're just
Mhm.
afraid to do what we got to do.
What we gotta do.
It's your
Yes.
instincts. Yeah, we have the
Right.
instincts. We have
Yeah.
instincts. And a lot of times we're running from what we chasing.
Mhm.
And that be our problem. We be running
Yep.
from exactly what we're
What we
chasing, and we're
chase.
running from it.
Yep. Exactly. You running from it because you chasing it. That
Right.
kind of just don't, like I want to be in a relationship, but I'm gonna chase love.
Mm-hmm.
No. You want to be in a relationship, so make yourself relationship material.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
Stop chasing. I want to feel love. I want to be high on love. I want to be high on love. No.
Be love.
Right. Right. And let's be clear. Let's be clear. Pain and love go together. So you're gonna go through some things because that first stage of love. Oh, he's so cute, so smells so good. Oh my god, he said this. Baby, when you get that first test of that relationship, you be ready to bail because you chase love and not the relationship.
That's that part. That part. That part. Everything's not gonna be peaches and cream. And
Right.
this is what happens when we go into a relationship and we are depending on someone else to make us happy. And I'll tell a person, if you dependent on to make me happy, if you dependent on me to make you happy, I'm out.
Right.
I'm out.
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
scared.
That part.
I'm
That
scared.
part. Happy with
You're gonna
yourself.
try to kill me when I leave.
Yeah, because first of all, that's an unfair responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
That's an
Nobody.
unfair goal, task.
Right.
You can't put that pressure on me to make you happy.
Mm-hmm.
Now I can increase your happiness, so I can be happy, you can be happy, and we can be happy together and get to another level of happiness. But you can't depend on me to make you happy, because what if I don't have it enough to make me happy?
Right. Ooh, you done said a whole mouthful because you got a lot of people running around here. I want to be in a relationship and I want to get married because it'll make me happy. No.
Right, and it's not.
Nobody wants to be with a miserable person.
It's not
Nobody
that.
wants to be with a half person.
Nobody should want that responsibility.
Yeah, it's too
Right.
much. It's
I'm
too
tired
much.
just thinking about it.
It's too much. Be
Mm.
happy, be who you are, love yourself for you, and then let me love you because you love yourself for you.
There you go.
I
And
love
then
you
that,
because you love you. Like,
right. And then that comes into that self-love piece because you love me because I love me and I love you because you love you. That means you have your own whole world, your own whole regiment. I have mine too. Let's come together and let me enter your world, you enter mine, and we grow in the happiness.
mhm.
Not you miserable, pull me out of my misery and let me be
Right.
with you and leech off of you because energies are real. If you
Right.
ever met a negative person, people are running from that person.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
They're not flocking to them, they're running from them.
What they
Mm-hmm.
say,
You know?
energy is not lost, is merely transferred from one party to the next. But the
Hey,
part that they leave out, that's the most important part of that law by Sir Isaac Newton, is the last part where it says the greater of the two energies would be the one that continues its path in motion. So that's the most important part of that law. Yes,
word.
energy is transferred from one party to the next. Yes, energy is never lost. But the most important part is the greater of the two energies would be the one that continues its path in motion. The greater of the two.
Mm-hmm.
I love absolutely, absolutely put that
I
in the
transmute
chat.
that stuff every time I go somewhere.
All right, so listen, we need another topic. We don't beat this one to death. Deb, you got something you got on your mind you want to talk about?
I got to make a run real quick, so
Okay,
I'll be right back.
okay. Well,
So,
listen, I got something because I watched this awesome show. It was oh, don't want to say his name wrong. It was on Netflix. It was Patrick. It was a football player that they blackballed because he took a knee.
Oh, Colin Kaepernick?
Yes,
Yeah.
Kaepernick. So it was like bits and pieces of his life. He was showing how he was raised. He was adopted, and he was raised by two white people, in which he, called mother and father intensively because they had him since he was 2 days old.
Right.
So he went through the stages of his life and how he saw, at a younger age, preteen, he saw racism, and his white parents never saw it. when he would play baseball, they would go and stay at these really, really white teams in California. And was it California? I don't remember. They would play at these really, really affluently white neighborhoods, and they would stay at these really nice hotels. And the hotel staff would always look at him, or they would always know who he was, even though there's thousands of other little kids his same age. He had one time went up to get some ice cream, and his friend had got thirds and fourths, and the lady was like, no, it's just one per person. And he looking around at everybody else then got thirds and fourths, and he was just coming to get one. Then another incident was when he was in the hotel, and they were giving away free apples, and the lady was eyeing him down, watching and making sure he didn't get an apple. It was a whole lot of stuff. This movie was excellent. The way it was depicted out, because it started off showing how the football system is geared and similar to the slave trade days,
Yes.
where they measure their arms and say they're beast, and you need this dude on your team because he's a monster. They're not looking for an educated black man. They're looking for a beast, a monster, a killer. They size them up, dress them down, take them down to their drawers, and they talk about everything.
They used to make us be naked. They used to make us be naked.
Yeah. Okay. So you can speak to it. So, and he was like, it's just like the slave trade days. They get them up and put them on a post, and they, bet on them. But instead of betting, these coaches are looking at them and sizing them up to see if they want them on their team. I was like, wow, I'm not a football player, never been a football player. I didn't know just how similar, because he was, doing real good simulations of how this process worked. And for him, he was still a mixed child. He wasn't all, he didn't have black mama and daddy, put it that way. And he said he was never anyone's first choice, but he was the best choice. And I said, I think that's the story of a lot of black people in general. You got to work extra hard. You got to be extra better. You're never going to be the first choice, but you'll always be the best choice. And they'll always look at the first choice before they'll look at the best choice.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to always strive to be better and smarter and faster and stronger. And he also had said about the how the NFL is 70% dominated, but only 3% is quarterbacks, which are the team leaders.
Right.
And I was like, wow, I never knew that. I mean, it was just a bunch of eye-opening stuff. So, I'm just saying, if you ain't seen this movie, you really need to go see it just for your own education.
You should.
It is very, very, very eye-opening. And his experiences that he experienced throughout life, I don't know. I mean, I couldn't have done it. I couldn't have done it. I'm sorry. A lot of people, I couldn't have done it.
People don't understand what particularly a black man has to go through in America to try to be successful in a system that was never designed for him anyway.
Yes.
People don't understand the sacrifices, the humble pie you have to eat, that you have to go through to be what society says you should be as a man, or
Right.
what your black counterpart as a woman looks to as a man, a protector, a provider. The football coming up, like where I came up, right? It was only way we made it out was football, basketball, or drugs. That was the way you were going to change grandma's life, right? And me and Callan are around the same age, so for us in that generation, most of us was the first of our family to go to college anyway.
Right.
So
Right.
football, so experiencing racism, and then we kind of talked about this before about like a white family adopting a black child, right? There is no way you can prepare yourself for what that black child has to go through in America. There's no way you can do
Yeah. It was funny because his parents didn't see what he saw. They saw the same situation and the same scenarios. You know, oh, you got out of a good ticket there. The man put a gun on him. Um,
it. They don't see
but
that.
they were like, yeah, you got through it. Really, you got through that ticket. You got out of your first ticket. Ha ha ha. And this child is 14 and he's literally shaking in his, about to pee on himself. But that was just normal for them. They didn't see, through his eyes. And he didn't have any black role models to tell him, that he should be afraid or that there was something different, which was really eye opening. Like, there's nobody feeding him these stereotypical conversations. This is something he is feeling and he's experiencing. They made his love of the game of baseball just so traumatic. That's why he's saying he didn't pick baseball
Baseball,
over football.
right?
And I was just like, wow, this is if you were performing some kind of test to see the white experience against the black experience, that was the perfect test. There, he's raised by these same people since he was 2. He wasn't surrounded by a bunch of black people. He liked the black girl, but his parents was like, oh, she's ugly, da da da. Put her picture in the drawer, didn't put it up in the house. But the white girl that he took to the dance, they put that picture, framed it, put it on the mantle.
Yeah.
It was just really eye opening that this man who had no outside interferences from, say, the color creation, and he felt at home when he did get around black people, when he did get his hair braided. He identified with the black culture, and nobody was there telling him he needed to, or he should, he should. But he also had some black friends that were um, integrated into the white culture, and they accepted that as that's who I'm supposed to be.
Right.
And fed into all of the biases that were being pushed upon them. And I just found I found it really eye opening how two sets of races can be raised in a same environment and have two sets of objectivity about something. Because I know, like, if my child get pulled over by the cop and they get the gun pulled on them, I'm fearful. They were like, oh yeah, it's a great day. I'm just dumbfounded.
Yeah,
We gonna
because
sit there and digest it.
they have white. And listen, it's white privilege, is what it is. And I mean,
Right.
just call it what it is. The ace, a spade, a spade. It's white
Yep.
privilege. You don't have to worry about being
Dying.
pulled over because you're black, and because you're black, they at a
It's
potential
oblivion.
level of 10 already
Right.
because you black and they pulled you out. They pull you over, and they just walk up to the car calm. They pulled me over. They walking up with their gun, with their hand on their gun, if it's not drawn already.
Yep.
And we could be in the same exact car. You could be in the
Yep.
Benz, and I could be in the Benz, and they say, "Oh, it must be a doctor or a lawyer." I'm in the Benz. It must be a drug dealer or a football player.
Yep. And there was many instances where he had experienced because he had two older white parents and he stood 6'2" black man, hair braided in cornrows. They're, oh, are you okay? Are y'all okay? Ask parents,
Mm-hmm.
oh no, yeah, we're great. They're just going about their business. They don't see it.
They don't
And I
see
was
it.
just like, you're standing in the same space with this child that you say you love, but you don't see it.
They can't. They can't.
Right. And I
You
was
can't
I was
see it.
blown away by how that was possible.
Listen,
How is that possible?
we did a VIP program with the Arlington PD, right?
Mhm.
Which is a violence interruption program, and is based off of a particular social, psychological, but sociology program, like experiment, where it dives deep into systematic racism, right?
Right.
Now here it is in 2000, and we did this We did this year. Was it this year?
Hmm.
Yeah, this year. We did it this year, earlier this year. Here it is in 2021. You have majority of these white officers believe wholeheartedly there's no such thing as systemic racism.
Mm.
They believe that there's no such thing as systematic racism. Systematic racism, I'm sorry. They believe that there is no such thing as it. So how can you ever really fix the problem if you got a group of people that really see that there is no problem?
Right. Right. That, it that is an issue within itself, that you have this whole set of people who basically control the system, who doesn't see, even when it comes to their loved ones, they don't see it.
They don't see
It's
it.
just like there's never going to be a fix to this issue.
So the question was, can Tim Smith not be racist, but Officer Smith be racist? And that's the question we pose. Can
Mm.
Tim Smith, the person, not be racist, but the officer Smith be racist? And ultimately, the experiment showed that yes, Tim Smith could not be racist, but Officer Smith could be racist because of the system that Officer Smith works within makes him racist because of how he has to perform his job
His
duties.
job and his duties. Yep.
So here it is, you got these officers. Oh, I'm not racist. I don't have nothing against black people. I don't have, but how you have to perform your job, your
Makes you
pre-biases,
right.
your prejudgments, your biases make you do your job, and how they teach you to do your job automatically sees me as a threat.
Right. Right. And a lot of people are walking around thinking, oh, I'm not racist, I'm not racist. But then you start investigating their biases, black or white. I'm not even gonna go all white. This is black or white on all scales. You start investigating your biases. We all have biases. It's just how far has your bias gone to where it is in a level of bias. You
And
know,
listen, this comes from me, and my my grandfather is white. And my great grandfather is white. I got white on both sides. My mom is
Mhm.
biracial. You know what I mean? So this is not coming from just a black perspective, and not
Right.
taking into consideration of a white. There's plenty of good white people that I've met in my life. There are that has helped me
Mhm.
along the way. There are plenty of good white people that have helped me along the way. You know what I mean? It's funny because I was in high school my senior year, and we used to go to this young lady house and play ping pong at her house my senior year in high school. And her mom knew we were there playing ping pong, or we'll go swimming in their pool, right? And one day we were playing ping pong, and her dad came home early, and the mom freaked out. She freaked out. The daughter freaked out, and was like, come on, you got to get your stuff. You got to get out of here. You got to get out of here. You got to get out of here." Her dad does not like black people. Her dad is extremely, like, does not like black people. The wife knew it. The wife ran interference and stopped him at the door so we
Mm.
can leave out the back of the house. And this is what I'm 2007, 2006, 2007.
Hmm.
This is what I experienced. So, you know, this is real. This is real to me. Like,
Right.
I've experienced this. Not just police brutality. I haven't experienced racism through just police brutality. I've experienced racism through an actual person who shouldn't have no problem with me, who had no position of power over me. He was just
Hmm.
another person and hated me because of my skin.
Mhm.
And he wasn't the only one. So this is a real life thing. This is something
Right.
that we're still going through today. And for anyone, honestly, I was working hand in hand with the Arlington PD, right? through a program called Bridging the Gap. I love the program. It has a really good initiative, it has really good intentions. But I'm gonna be honest with you. After that VIP program, it it kind of made me stay away from it.
Mm,
And maybe I should have stayed into it to help change the perspective. But what I seen evilness.
mm,
I seen evilness. Now here it is. We got this black man teaching the program, which is my beloved friend Dr. Regis, who is a doctor teaching this program, and you can see the venom that they have. Like, who does this black man think he is to tell us what to do or how to move or how to act or how to think? You can see it ooze. I mean, it was scary almost.
Mhm.
It was scary. And to know these the same people that this the same one of these same people could pull up behind me and have my life in their hands because
mm.
they just having a bad day today.
Right, right. For no reason.
No,
Ego
no,
tripping.
you don't know
Power
what that's like
tripping.
unless you're a black man or black woman in America. You don't know what that's like.
Right, right.
Because I had a similar story, believe it or not, when I was at a friend's house and she was white. And when her mom came home and she saw me, oh, even I could feel like, what the hell is this little black girl doing in my house?
Right.
Mm,
You know.
And
And I just got up out of there because the energy just felt really, really, really
something that's so
off when
recent.
she
So
walked in.
I was away for work, right? So we had a couple artists that were driving that got pulled over. And one of our artists, he's a white guy, right? And his girlfriend was white. And we had another two artists that were just in the back seat. Now, I'm VP of operations, so they get pulled over right down the street from the studio. So the CEO asked him, he said, "Listen, can you please go down there, just make sure everything goes okay, show credentials, let them know that they're famous, they're famous, they're celebrities. We just got to get them up here to the studio. If there's anything that need to be worked out, we'll work it out." Now I pull up, and this just happened maybe 3 weeks ago. I pull up and the white officer comes to me. He said, "Hey, how you doing? What's your name?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm Ty Jones. Ty. I said I'm VP of operations. Those are my artists that's in the car. The young lady, I don't have any ties to the young lady. Just the three artists that's in the car. I believe that's one of the artists' girlfriends or fiancés, right?" I said,
mhm,
"So, what's happening?" He said, "Well, nobody's leaving right now until we finish doing what we're doing." I'm like, "Well, what happened?" He said, "I mean, to be honest with you, she did something that was just quite stupid." I said, "Well, what happened?" He said, "Well, we flashed our lights and she kept driving." I said, "Kept driving?" He said, "Yeah, she kept driving. She turned into the parking lot. Now there's a city furniture that this warehouse is probably every bit of 3 blocks long. She went behind the city furniture with their lights on, all the way down the parking lot, all the way back around to the point where another cop car had to come and pull in front of her. Pulled in front of her, then they get out. They ask her for her license. She has no license. She has a warrant. The ticket, the tags on the car are not to this car. And the car smell like weed.
Oh,
Don't you know they let her go?
white? She was
They
white?
white. Never pulled her out the car. Never put her in handcuffs, never searched the car, let her go, and never gave her a ticket. She never got a ticket. So the black artist that was in the back seat, they when we got to the studio, they were pissed. They was like, "Yo, don't do that." Well, I'm black. Like, so when I got out the car, I said, "Listen," I said, "Sweetheart, I don't know you. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but what you just experienced is white privilege at its finest.
mm,
Because had I done that, half the damn Orlando Altamont Springs police would have been there. I'd have been yanked out the car. Everybody, they would have searched
mhm.
my car. They would have turned me. And I definitely not a ticket. I was going to jail. You didn't get a
Yeah.
ticket.
Mm.
You had no license. You had another warrant in another state, which they knew. The tags to the car was not to this car, and the car smelled like weed. And they let you go. No problems. Okay.
But
Yeah,
I'm
All
for
right.
real. Okay.
right.
They would
I'm
have been
sure she
dead.
said nothing wrong with that situation. What do you mean?
Right. And look, did this. And she was getting nasty with them. She was getting nasty. He said, I asked her, this was what the cop is telling me, my right hand of God. He is telling me, I asked her, hey, why didn't you stop? She tells me, because I don't feel like I need to stop for the police. I'm like, what? I'm like, sir, really? He's like, really? But we're just gonna let her go. She's just young, she's making mistakes, and we don't want her to, make have these mistakes affect her for the rest of her life. I said, oh, really?
Wow.
I said, oh, okay. Okay. Keep
Because
that
they care
same
about her
energy.
life.
They care about her
They
life
care about her life. They care about her future. They don't care about ours.
at all. At all.
And that's why when people are, I mean, when people are outraged because we're saying that our lives matter, it's because of shit like this. I mean, of course, everybody's life matters, but y'all act like y'all don't know about ours.
Right.
It doesn't matter. Our feelings don't matter. Nothing matters.
Our future doesn't matter. So I get extremely frustrated, and it bothers me when we're talking about Black Lives Matter and then someone say all lives matter. That's not what the hell we talking about right
Hmm.
now, and you know it.
Clearly, they everybody it does, but y'all don't know it. Clearly, we don't because you don't. They just we would be just like the capital issue.
Right.
Oh,
If that was black people,
Could you imagine that?
they would have been sniping us from the roof.
What? They would have
right.
mowed us down. They would
Child
have
bye.
mowed us down, and those that survived would have went to jail. And if you didn't get shot, you was going straight to jail, and you would have
Hmm.
been handcuffed to a hospital bed with a bullet hole in you.
We would have. They would have brought out the dogs. What are you talking about? And the hoses. Are you
What?
kidding me?
Let us have try some stuff like that. And this is the things that I you cannot argue, and if you do argue these obvious inconsistencies, you're just trying to argue. Like you're trying to argue because that is an obvious inconsistency right there.
And the thing about it is that there have been video after video after video of of incidents, where black men have been killed, and they hadn't done anything wrong, but it was something about when George Floyd was killed where the lights finally came on for some people. And I don't know if anybody did this like I did, but if you watched his funeral, they made you stand there for the amount of time that man stood there. I
8 minutes.
mean, not kneeled there with his knee in his neck. That actually brought me to tears because it might have been minutes, but it seemed like forever. And he just stood there and killed him in front of
Put it
all those
in his
people
Yeah.
pocket.
And
with
and
that
everybody,
fucked up look in his eye.
yes, that
I couldn't have
evil.
been there. I would have went to jail because I would have dove right on his head.
and
But
and and
that's just
and
me.
that look I seen in his eyes was the look that I seen at that program, at that training.
Hmm.
Some of that same, like, I am greater than the law look.
Hmm.
I'm greater than this badge because of what I am.
But this really happened to me. So I worked for a company for years, and there was a handful of black people that worked in my office. And one day I walked on my floor and there was a group of black women, every one of them I know, but literally I said, "Oh, hey, what's going on? We have a quota." I'm joking. And these two white women hit the corner, right? And they see us all. One of them literally pauses and is stunned for a second.
Mm.
And I'm like, we can't even gather for a minute without there being some type of pause or reason for concern.
Right, right,
You
right.
know,
And that
we
like
can't even exist.
we ride it. We protest. We can peacefully protest, and they tear gassing us. They bean bagging us.
Hmm.
They sometimes they're shooting us. They hitting us with the riot gear, Billy clubbing us. And these folks came with guns and weapons.
Took photos, posted on social media, gloated. It's fine. It was
And,
all.
and, and
Beat the police.
What you gonna do?
hit the police, punched the police,
Hmm.
killed the police, and nothing at a government
Wait,
building.
now let's
Y'all
be
didn't shoot
let's be
nobody. Y'all didn't gas nobody. Y'all didn't that nothing.
But wait, let's be fair now, because they did get it after the fact. But the fact that the system had to work after the fact, and it didn't work like it would have worked if they was black,
We
because
just know
they had
it would
to
have been
march.
different had it been black people
That
standing.
They
was
had
the
to march on the Capitol Hill. It was a staunch difference. They
Hmm.
had police all on the steps with riot gear and loaded guns and ammunition.
they would have called in the military because the military is right down the street,
Right.
right down the street. So how they handled it after the fact. To me, that was just hush hush. That was let's put a
Oh, they
pacifier
had to
on
do
it.
something.
They had to do something.
We was gonna
Let's
tear
not
some
let's
shit
not
up.
let's not get the people up in the riots and get
Hmm.
out of control. So let's just show us do
Because we were
something.
already doing too much. They knew they couldn't just let that go and not do
Right,
anything.
right. That part.
But it's
So
it's sad that's what we have to resort
Resort to.
to get some act right out of y'all
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
It's
instead
sad,
of
man.
doing what's right and humane.
It's
Right.
sad. And
So
good.
let me ask y'all something. So we talking about racism, but before you get to racism, you have these small biases and those small microaggressions. Do you believe you have those
Towards the other race.
towards any other race? Biases and microaggressions.
I have biases towards white people. I do. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
I do
Okay.
Well,
because
I don't.
I feel like my biases. Some of my biases towards white people are really it's trauma.
Mm,
It's trauma
right. From lived experiences.
from lived experiences. So until proven otherwise, I see you as a. So there's a saying that says, okay, if there's a basket full of poisonous snakes, do you stick your hand in the basket? They say no because it's a basket of poisonous snakes. They say if there's a basket full of snakes that won't hurt you, would you stick your hand in the basket of snakes? Um,
I already discussed my thing with snakes now.
right? And it said that if there's a basket full of snakes and there's one poisonous snake in the basket, would you stick your hand in the basket?
Mm, mm.
And the answer is it's still a basket full of snakes. So even though if you had a basket full of poisonous snakes and you knew if I stuck my hand in it, I'm surely to die. But I got a basket full of all snakes and there's just one poisonous snake, you're still not sticking your hand in the basket because you don't know which snake is poisonous.
Right. Or
So
they just still snakes.
or they just still snakes.
Right. I'm not even if there's not a venomous snake, I ain't sticking my hand in the
You
bag.
understand what I'm saying? So if a person